Hi friends, welcome to Yuvaguru Maths Olympiad app. We have theory and practical, two separate types of video lectures. In theory we cover the concepts and in practicals we cover the examples. Both this theory and practical together are useful for CBSE, ICSE and various state boards across India and outside India as well. Anyone who wants to understand maths better needs to download this Yuvaguru Maths Olympiad app. So let's focus on our today's topic. Topic is comparing quantities. We had this earlier also in earlier standards, but the problem is that was a simpler one. Now we have some more things and a bit difficult part. Let's start. What is a discount? Discount is reduction given on the marked price. Means what? Whenever you go to the market to buy some, say, any product, oil, generally discount is in cooking oil. You go for buying the cooking oil, then the marked price is heavy. Then you say give me some discount and he'll give you a discount of 20-30 rupees roughly. So discount equals to marked price minus selling price. So that difference is known as the discount. This discount can be calculated when discount percentage is given. So discount equals to discount percentage of the marked price. What are overhead expenses? Additional expenses made after buying of an article are included in the cost price and are known as overhead expenses. So buying price plus overhead expenses. Do you have any example of overhead expenses? Suppose if you purchase a refrigerator from a shop, then the bringing it from the shop to your house is the overhead expense. And also fitting it at the place, the person who fits it also takes some money, right? Sales tax. Nowadays it is GST. GST is charged means what is GST? Goods and services tax. Sales tax is gone now. Is charged on the sale of an item by the government and is added to the bill amount, right? So GST equals to tax percentage of the bill amount. This VAT was earlier to GST, so it's gone now. No need to study. It was similar to GST, but GST is a more reformed form of VAT. What is the percent? We always call per cent. See here, cent means 100. So per 100. The word percent is from the Latin phrase blah 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 per centum, which means per hundreds. There is also something called as per mille, right? So that is per thousand. So GST equals to cost price into rate of GST upon 100. Okay. So this is again the repetition. Mark price SP. Mark price equals to selling expenses plus discount. It should be SP, selling price plus discount. So discount equals to mark price minus selling price. Discount percentage equals to discount into 100 upon mark price. Mark price means which is printed on the packet of the goods. When profit percent is given, then selling price is greater than cost price. Can you find a logic in this? See here, if I bought something for 100 rupees and selling it for 120 rupees, then the profit is 20 rupees. So when anything has a profit, then definitely selling price will be higher than cost price. Only then there will be a profit, right? So selling price, when you know the profit percentage, how to find the selling price? Selling price equals to 100 plus profit percent upon 100 into cost price, right? This you can practically apply it also. Suppose if I purchase something for 100 rupees and profit percentage is say 15%. So what is the selling price? So put the 15% over here, 100 plus 15, 115 upon 100 into 100. So 100 gets cancelled, 115 is the selling price. Similarly now the reverse, cost price equals to SP into 100 upon 100 plus profit percent. See here, these formulae you need not remember, you need to derive it. That's very much important. Maths is not remembering, it should be derived. How to find the profit from profit percentage? Profit percent into CP upon 100. Profit equals to SP minus CP. So profit percent equals to profit upon CP into 100. Now the reverse. If loss percentage is given, then the same thing. SP equals to 100 minus loss percent upon 100 into CP. Earlier it was 100 plus because profit so plus, loss so minus. Okay. Now same thing will get reversed. Cost price equals to SP into 100 upon 100 minus loss percent. Finding the loss from loss percent. Loss equals to loss percent into CP upon 100. Loss equals to CP minus SP, means loss will always show that selling price is lower than cost price. Loss percent equals to loss upon CP into 100. See, both the formulae are same. If you remember one also, then also other can be derived. Now this increase percentage means what? Suppose if the price is increased for some amount, some goods, then what is the percentage of increase? So percentage of increase is always found out by increase upon original value into 100, and that much percent. Similarly decrease upon original value into 100. Now simple interest. When the interest is paid to the lender regularly every year or half a year on same interest, we call it simple interest. In other words, interest is said to be simple if it is calculated on the original principal throughout the loan period. Always remember, simple interest amount does not change. Means here it should be upon 100, PRT upon 100. It should be like this. Simple interest equals to PRT upon 100. What is P? Principal. What is R? Rate of interest. What is T? Period. Some books write this T as N also. PRN upon 100. Important part is simple interest is always calculated on the original principal. Okay. Now compound. Compound means interest on interest. Always remember. Suppose if you take some loan from somebody and you have to pay some interest, but if you don't pay it, then that guy will charge you interest on that part also which you have not paid it. Right? Means what? Suppose if you take 100 rupees from someone and you have to pay him 10 rupees every year. But if you don't pay that 10 rupees, then the next guy will charge you interest on 110 rupees, not on 100 rupees. Okay? Because you have not paid it. That's how banks works. So compound interest, if a borrower and a lender agree to fix up a certain interval of time, say year or half year or quarter of a year, so that the amount at the end of the interval becomes the principal for the next interval, and then the total interest overall the interest calculated in this way is called as compound interest. Means interest on interest. So CI equals to amount minus principal. Always remember this basic formula. How the compound interest is calculated? See the formula. A equals to P into 1 plus R upon 100 raised to N. Remember this formula throughout your life. It is very important. But this is for annually. So R is rate, P is period, A is amount, and N is the period. P is the principal. I said period about principal, rate, period, and amount. Okay. After finding the amount, compound interest is calculated as A minus P. Means you have to find this A and then you have to subtract the P from it. Okay. Don't remember this formula. This is of no use. It's just the combination of these two. Okay. So don't remember only this much. A and CI. That's it. Now if the compound interest is calculated half yearly, then what happens? The rate is divided by 2 and the period is multiplied by 2. So R becomes R upon 2. See this. R upon 2 over here. And N becomes 2N. See this. Okay. Now similarly if you do it quarterly, then R upon 4 and 4N. Go on and on. Monthly, then R upon 12 and 12N. Now if the rates of interest are different, 3 different rates for first, second and third year, then the amount at the end of the third year will be A equals to P into 1 plus R1 upon 100. This is the basic formula. Now go on multiplying with 1 plus R2 upon 100, 1 plus R3 upon 100, and then you will get the final amount. Then CA is same. Find the A, then minus the principal. Now ratios and percentages. We usually compare two quantities by division using fractions, right? Means whenever you have to compare, you put one above and second below, numerator and denominator. Comparing by division is called as ratio. Note that two quantities can be compared only when they have the same units. That is very important. You can't compare milk with sugar, right? Or milk with wheat. You have to compare milk with milk. Consequently, the ratio has no unit. Why no unit? Because same units means what? Suppose if it is sugar with sugar, so 5 kg of sugar with, say, let's say wheat. Okay, sugar with wheat, 5 kg of sugar, 5 kg of wheat. So kg gets cancelled. Consequently, the ratio is no unit. However, if the two quantities are not in the same unit, then we convert them to the same unit before comparison. Always important, right? Two quantities can also be compared using percentages. Now it's one and the same thing, ratio and percentage, only multiply by 100. By percentage we mean a fraction where denominator is 100. The numerator of the fraction is called the rate percent. Okay, so that's okay, means quite simple, you will understand. If you understand ratios, you will understand percentages. Okay, so we mean fraction where denominator is 100, the denominator is converted to 100. The numerator of a fraction is called the rate percent. Okay, let's see. See this, 5 upon 100 means 5%. Why? Because upon 100%, that's why percent. Okay, to convert a ratio into percentage, we convert it into a fraction whose denominator is 100. So you have to bring 100 to it. How? Let's see. See this, 5 upon 20. So bring the denominator to 100. How? 25. So multiply numerator and denominator by 5. So 5 into 5, 25 upon 100. So 25 upon 100. So again denominator is 100 now. Cent. So therefore it becomes 25%. Now reverse is, to convert percentage into a fraction, we divide the numerator by 100 and express it to the lowest form, means the reverse one. Now go in the reverse order. If you have to convert 25% into a fraction, then what do you do? 25% means 25 upon 100, then bring it to the lowest form, 5 5s and 5 20s, right? So 5 upon 20, go in the reverse order. In a unitary method, find the value of one unit of a given value of some units and then find the value of the required number of units. See here, it's like this. Suppose if I tell you to find the value of 10 bags of sugar, what will you ask me? Give me one value of 1 bag of sugar, price of 1 bag of sugar. So 1 into 10, right? So find 1 and then multiply. Now again this is a repetition. Increase percent equals to increase upon original price into 100, decrease percentage, decrease upon original price into 100. This is a formula which you have to remember. New price equals to old price plus this increase, not percent. Okay, this increase is important, percent is not added. Okay, similarly over reduction also, this original minus decrease or reduction you call it. Estimating the percentages means estimation in percentages. Means what? Estimation means what? Rounding it off. So suppose if I tell you, let's say, what is 7 upon 15? Let's say 7 upon 15. So it's a bit difficult to find, but if you round off 15 to the nearest number, that is 14. So what happens? 7 upon 14. Then it becomes 7 upon 14 is 50%. So that is estimation. Rounding it off so that we find it easier using thumb rules. Okay. Round off the bill to the nearest tens. Find amount of the discount. Reduce the bill amount by that discount amount. Quite simple, right? Remember this first step, round it off to the nearest tens. Remaining things you will always remember. Find amount of discount, reduce the bill by the discount amount, that's okay. First is reducing it to the nearest tens, that is very important. So coming back, what are the overhead charges? We have already discussed. These are the additional expenses made while buying or selling the item. So importantly, what are they generally? I have told you one or two transportations. See this, like amount spent on repairs, labor charges, transportations. These expenses have to be included in the cost price, right? The fridge if you buy or refrigerator you buy, the transportation cost and the fitting charges are to be included. Who will pay them? After all, you will have to pay them. So again, just a reminder, if profit, then selling price will be higher than cost price. If loss, then cost price will be higher than selling price. Profit percentage equals to profit upon cost price into 100. Loss percentage equals to loss upon cost price into 100, right? Similarly this percent, that's okay. Means remember these 3-4 important points. Overall gain equals to combined selling price minus combined cost price. Combined means what? Selling price plus the overhead expenses. Similarly over here, cost price plus the overhead expenses. Overall loss, same logic. Overall loss equals to combined CP minus combined SP, right? So next, important part about the compound interest. Rate compounded annually or half yearly. The word annually mentioned after the rate means the rate is charged at the end of the year. Remember, banks generally charged annually. Okay, means the rate of interest in the banks is given as annually, where the rate is given for 1 year. We can have compound interest charged half yearly or quarterly. This means the rate will be for half year, 1/2 year for 6 months, and half of the rate for 1 year, and the time will be 2 halves. Right? 6 months means what? Here it's very simple. What you do is the same compound interest formula, divide the r by half if it's half yearly, and multiply the n by 2. The number by which you divide r, same number you will be multiplying the n. This is very important. Okay, so if the sum of rupees 50,000 is taken for 1 year at 10% compounded semi-annually, then r will be 5% and n will be 2, not 1. Right? All these things you will understand in the practice videos, means the practical videos. Follow them. Here just we are covering the theory. The time period for which the interest is calculated is added each time to the new principal is called as conversion period or time period. Means if it's 6 months, then every 6 months it is added to the original principal. Means that much part of the rate of interest. So that is known as a conversion or time period. So logically, if the compound interest is calculated half yearly, then there would be 2 conversion periods in 6 months, in 1 year. If it is quarterly, then there would be 4, because quarter means 3, right? 12 divided by 3, then it will be 4 conversion periods. Where is the compound interest formula applicable? Generally for increase or decrease in population. The problems which you get for increase in decrease in population, there you get this formula. Growth of rate of bacteria, these problems you generally get. The value of an item, if the prices increase or decrease in the intermediate years, means in between, means the cost of the fridge was say 10,000 5 years back. Now in the third year it increased by 10%, and in the fourth year it increased by 15%. So that becomes a compound interest formula or compound interest problem. For any increase, rate is always positive, and for any decrease, rate is always negative. Means if the population decreases of certain town, then r will be negative. If population increases of certain town, the r will be positive. So that was a theory on comparing quantities. Download Yuvaguru Maths Olympiad app from Play Store to get these videos, tests, question banks with explanations directly on your mobile. These video lectures contain theory and practical, two separate types of video lectures. In theory we cover the concepts, and in practicals we cover the examples. Both this theory and practical together are useful for CBSE, ICSE, various state boards across India and outside India as well. Anyone who wants to understand maths better needs to download this Yuvaguru Maths Olympiad app. Follow us on Facebook on this link. WhatsApp us on this number for any query related to purchases. Keep studying, keep watching. Thanks.